All right, what's up, everybody? It's Roger, Working Man Cigars, and tonight I'm finally gonna be able to shoot a video. It's been a while since I shot a video, but tonight I'm looking forward to this cigar. I'm gonna be smoking the Arturo Fuente Anejo Shark. Look at this thing, such a badass looking cigar. Look at this freaking cigar. And luckily, I'm gonna be able to smoke this thanks to Felipe, Cigar Side Chats, my good friend, Mr. Felipe, Cigar Side Chats. Dude's the shit, man. I love that guy. And he sent me over a ton of killer cigars, man. And he sent me over this shark. I love sharks, right? I used to watch videos about sharks, and I used to always wonder, before I really realized that the size makes a big difference. When I used to see a cigar and somebody would review a blend in a Toro size, I used to think, okay, if I just find the double Corona, it should be the same thing. Or if I find a Robusto, it should be the same thing. I didn't realize a long time ago that the size makes a big difference. And when I would see people smoking sharks, I would ask, like, what is it with sharks? Is it just because they're hard to find? Is it the size makes it taste different? Is it just fun to smoke? And all that kind of goes into it. But for me, sharks, just like every size, most sizes, they do tend to change the cigar a bit. Like the regular Añejo line, I love most of them. Most of the bigger sizes, I love them. They're really good for me, very flavorful, very bold. And the only one I did not like was the shark. It had a funkiness to it that I didn't like. It was like, oh man, like BO kind of funkiness. Sounds gross, but that's what I got from it. But I heard that this is a little bit of the newer release ones. And I've heard from a lot of people that the newer release Añejos are better. So let's see how true that is. Let's see if that's actually accurate for me. So the draw's a little bit tight. I dry boxed the crap out of this thing. I was going to shoot a video a few days ago and I couldn't because when I checked this thing with my humidimeter, it wasn't dry yet. But I dried the crap out of this thing. Oh, you're not going to be able to see that, are you? A little bit. Let's see. No. Okay, well, it's packed super tight. So we'll see if it opens up. I dry boxed the crap out of this thing, and the last I checked, it was 57. RH 57. Didn't check the top. I used to stick the humidimeter at the top of it. And like kind of, I would mess up the draw sometimes because I'd be getting air through there. So then I learned to do it a little bit towards the back. But on torpedoes or belicosos or a shark, it's kind of hard to check the head of the cigar. And for those of you who aren't aware, it's taken me what, like almost 4 minutes to start lighting the cigar. This isn't a review. This is an overview. It's pretty much just a smoke along. So I do more talking than I do smoking. It is what it is. Okay, the draw is really, really tight. It's a lot tighter than I like. Hopefully it opens up. I have my blower here that helps take the smoke out, but I usually have the door open, but now that it's starting to get really hot, and it's really hot here today, now that it's starting to get really hot, I had to close the doors, seal up the gaps, big ass blanket that I have, and the smoke, it's already starting to kind of bug me a bit. No, it's not gonna work. I might just have to poke this thing. Just gonna give it a quick little jab and see if that'll take care of it. Because it feels like it's all right there at the head here, at the cap here. Yeah, man, I could hear the cigar cracking, and I'm thinking, fuck, I don't want to mess this thing up. There we go. That's all it needed. It just needed a little poke. So right at light up, I'm getting a little bit of that aged funk. Luckily, it's not that funkiness I was getting on the last Añejo Shark that I smoked. This one's a lot more of like what you get from a traditional Añejo kind of funk. It's not like an Opus funk. It doesn't even taste like a regular Dominican funk to me, right? To me, it tastes like Añejos have like a specific type of funkiness to them. Kind of like the Amazon Basin has a weird funk. This one has its own kind of funkiness that I think of when I smoke any añejo line. But this one's getting me a little bit of spice, not pepper spice like stinging. It's more of a spice on the palate. So I know I just started smoking the cigar. It's barely in a little bit, right? But I'm not getting a whole lot. Like, it's a lot of añejos for me. When I start smoking them right away, they give me like a ton of just bold flavors. And this one's not really doing that. I am getting this weird kind of aftertaste in my palate after the smoke is gone and I'm just like breathing. I got this like taste on my palate and it tastes good. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Yeah, this one's so far starting off well. Starting off a lot better than the last Shark that I smoked. It's kind of weird. You know, like, I don't know how to explain it. There's this thing where you're shooting videos, and if you ever watch newer content and the videos seem kind of clunky, or I don't know how to explain it. It's just, they're not like what you're used to seeing. There's this comfortability you get in front of the camera talking to yourself. Like, and for me, when I stop shooting videos for a few weeks and then I sit in front of the camera again and start doing this, it's always weird. It's always like this, I need to get through like through the adjustment period to get comfortable again. I don't like it. Or I'm so used to just being on Cigars Unbanded where, like, if I'm not saying anything, it's not dead quiet because somebody else is talking or somebody else has something to say. So I'm gonna smoke this down a little bit and then I'll check back in once I'm farther down in the first third here. Wavy burn line though. I don't care. I'll touch it up. All right, guys. All right, guys. So checking back in with this Añejo Shark. I'm still pretty much in the first third. I wanted to check in sooner, but I'm not getting a whole lot from this cigar, right? Like, you can see the burn line's a bit wonky, but I know that happens with Sharks. Like, look, the ash is splitting. I mean, I don't care. I don't care about that stuff. But there's something that happens when you smoke a good cigar and you can pick up a lot of notes effortlessly. What the hell? Effortlessly. You can smoke a cigar and you could, even if you're a bit distracted, and sometimes that can happen to me a lot out here when I'm smoking a really good cigar. I could just be distracted looking at my phone and I just keep realizing like, oh man, this is a really good cigar because I'm getting so much out of it. And sometimes you really have to search for notes. You really, really have to search for notes. And that's what I'm having to do with this cigar right now. And funny enough, I have to smoke the cigar a little bit quickly. I was a bit distracted sending some messages for work and I wasn't smoking that quickly. And every time I go to take a draw, it's like muted. But when I started smoking it faster, the smoke's like a little bit warmer and it just tastes a little bit better. I also had to poke it again because I wasn't getting the smoke that I wanted from the cigar. I cut it a little bit more. I poked it again because the smoke output wasn't that good. But what I've been having to do to kind of get the most out of the cigar is I take a draw, I blow out a little bit, and then I retrohale. But I retrohale really slowly to where like I have the smoke kind of like in the back of my sinuses just slowly coming out. And that's when I pick up some pretty good flavor notes from the cigar. But if I'm just effortlessly smoking, just retrohaling, smoking the cigar, I'm not really picking anything up, which is unfortunate because I personally don't want to focus on the cigar 100% the whole time that I'm smoking it. I would like to just be smoking and the cigar be able to carry itself just, in the background, but it's not really happening. Now, what I am getting from the cigar though, when I do pay really hard attention to it, I used to never be able to pick up kind of chocolate in cigars. Chocolate for me was very difficult. And sometimes I would say like, oh, I'm getting like a dark note from the cigar. And other guys would be saying I'm getting like a dark chocolate. This fucking smoke in here is driving me nuts. And other people would say like, oh, I'm getting dark chocolate from the cigar. So I always wondered like, is what I can't click in my head as dark chocolate is I just view as dark. But recently I've been able to pick up a bit more of what I would call like considered dark chocolate. So with that said, I'm getting like an espresso dark chocolate kind of tasty note. Not really much sweetness, but there is a tiny bit of sweetness, but that sweetness again is like a dark sweetness. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not really a fruit sweetness. Sometimes when I get a very dark sweetness, it clicks in my head as like a dark cherry kind of sweetness, but that's not, this one's not there. It's a different type of sweetness. I'm getting a bit of funkiness. I'm getting no pepper, not even like a bit of pepper on my palate. It's just the smoke has no pepper to it. And another thing is, I don't know how to explain this, but some smoke texture to me is like rough, smooth, bold. And this one's giving me very bold kind of smoke texture. Yeah, see, like I feel like I'm not getting a lot of smoke from this cigar. This thing's just packed like really, really tight because I could see it. It's like a wall. And then I poke a hole through it, but I like to bite down on cigars when I'm smoking them. And I don't know if it closes it up, but the smoke production isn't that great. So smoke texture, I think it could be interpreted differently by certain people, right? Because even sometimes when I get a creamy smoke texture, it's just something that clicks in my head. Like sometimes I'm smoking a cigar that's like a bold cigar and I feel like, oh, this is a very like bold type of smoke. Like it's a bit rough on my sinuses. It's a bit rough like on my palate. Opposed to like to me, an Atabey that has a smooth smoke texture. Just very smooth, very just silky kind of, I don't know. And then there's like rough smoke texture from cigars that are just bitter and like they burn the back of your throat and they're just crappy, you know? This one to me is like bold. It's not bad. It's not rough. It's not, you know, it's not negative. It's just bold, like very, very bold. Yeah, see, now I'm getting more of those tasty notes. Now they're coming through a little bit better. And funny enough, the ash is actually starting to be more of like a white ash. Instead of that gray dark ash that I had, it's starting to be more of a white ash. That's interesting. I wonder if the draw was messing it up that bad. You know what's interesting though is that the sharks don't taste similar to the standard Vitolas. Even the different sizes of the other añejos, they all have this similar kind of profile. And this one, obviously, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this one has a similar type of funk, but it's to me, it's very different than the other ones. Very, very different. It's not my favorite. Like so far what I've been smoking, obviously, because the draw must have been messing up the smoking experience for me or messing with the taste. But even the way it is now, it's good. But unless it really just crescendos, I don't see it beating, you know, the standard añejo line that I like so much. I remember when I was barely starting smoking cigars and started kind of seeking out cigars. The whole collecting thing is interesting. The whole collecting thing is cool. Like trying to find a certain cigar, it's always been part of the fun. And anybody who's a collector and like has you have guys that are like smoke your best stuff, right? EKB always says smoke your best stuff, smoke your best cigars. Eric Midnight Cigar says like smoke, he used to be called smoke one if you have one. And then there's like the collecting kind of guys who, if you only have one of something, you don't really want to smoke it until you have a replacement for it. And I always thought I was more of the smoke it kind of guy, but when I think about it, I rarely smoke a cigar if I don't have another one to kind of replace it. Unless I've been dying to try it because everybody says it's great. It's kind of tough to let go of a cigar that you've been searching for to smoke it and then not know if you're going to be able to get it again. I remember when I was like a year or two into smoking cigars and I really started getting heavy into chasing kind of certain cigars, hunting certain cigars down. More on the collecting aspect than the like enjoying the cigar kind of side. You know, it was more of the collecting side. And I started seeing how everybody was talking about nothing but great reviews of the Anejo Shark. And sometimes a cigar that gets so many, that's so sought after is just because it's hard to find. I realize that now, right? Like a lot of the hype is just if it's hard to find, more people say how good it was or it makes you want to try it more and you can't find it. And I remember looking for the Añejo Shark and seeing the Añejo 55. Is it the 55? The one that's supposed to be it's a torpedo or, yeah, it was the Añejo 55, which is a torpedo or bellicoso. I can't remember. It's one of those. But they would pass it off on some websites as like the shark. And I always wondered, what's the difference? But like websites knew or retailers knew. It's like people want the shark so bad. And we're just going to say this is just like the same thing. And if I would have found any 55s, I probably would have bought them, because at the same time, I didn't realize I'd never even seen a shark. So I didn't know that the shark was going to be like box pressed at the end and then torpedo shaped towards the head of the cigar. I didn't know that. It's just interesting how when you're looking for something, you want to try it so much, you're willing to settle for something else. But at the end of the day, you're still going to have that you're not going to get the experience. If you really want to experience a shark, you're not going to get that from another cigar. Not that it matters, because again, all these cigars, doesn't matter if people really like them. If everybody loves the shark, it doesn't mean you're going to love the shark, right? It's just how it goes. Like for me, the 48, I think it's the 48 is my favorite, which is like a really long one, 6.5, probably even longer than that. And then it's a 48 ring gauge. And that cigar, for me, is like that Añejo is so freaking good. It's a big ass cigar. It's long. It takes a long time to smoke it, but it's so enjoyable. It's such a good cigar. Yeah, so this cigar has gotten a lot better for me. That like espresso kind of dark sweetness is way more apparent now, and I'm enjoying the cigar a lot more. This funk is like, it's interesting. The funkiness is coming through a lot more, but it's kind of earthy with a type of, it's got like an earthiness to it, or a wet wood kind of. To me, anytime I get like cedar, it's like a drying kind of tasting note. This type of wood is like, it's not drying. It's like a moist wood, teetering on wet earth kind of funkiness. It's weird. It's enjoyable though. I like it. But that Dominican Opus funkiness, man, that's the freaking best. That, when I think of like cigars that have age and funkiness to them, a lot of the good opuses, that's kind of what I think of. It's a different type of funk, and it's very distinct, and it's very freaking good. This one's interesting, but it's not like, I love the opus type of funk, aged funkiness that those cigars have. All right, guys, I'm gonna smoke this down a bit more. Once I'm in the final third, I'll check back in here for a bit. All right, guys, so finishing up this Arturo Fuente Añejo Shark. The second half of the cigar got so much better, and really, like when I'm thinking about it, it was after the box press, like what makes it a shark. When it got past that is when it got a lot better. I wish I would have probed it a little bit more and got it a little bit more open. Maybe with the draw being more open, it would have been better. Because the second half of the cigar was like a completely different cigar. Even the ash was different. The color was different. It just, I don't know. But it was so packed, so tight. I think that's just what the problem was. But it did end up being a really good cigar. That espresso kind of chocolatey note was very, very apparent. And like I had mentioned earlier, the funk was a lot better. This cigar did kind of crescendo. It still isn't a great cigar to me. It wasn't great. Maybe if I smoked one and it wasn't so packed so tightly, or if I would have probed it a lot better and got the draw better from the get-go, maybe it would have been good start to finish, just like the second half of it was. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the second half of the cigar. It was a ton better. The smoke is getting now on that rougher kind of like teetering on bitter, kind of drying to my throat. It's starting to get there. It's understandable. The cigar is pretty much almost done. But that's pretty much it, guys. Cigar was good. Could have been better. Maybe I'll have to smoke another one just to give it another retry and see if the draw is good and everything's right. If it's as good as it was towards the end. Don't forget to check out Cigars Unbanded. It's a weekly live stream that we do every Thursday. We smoke a unbanded cigar. The packs we get packs, essentially like mystery packs from Small Batch. And If anybody wants to try it, join along with us. We have almost 100 packs with people smoking along with us. They watch the live stream on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. and Pacific Standard Time, and they smoke along with us. We kind of go through the cigar together, figure out if it's good, if it's bad. Then we figure out what the cigar is, price point. It's a fun show. Really, really enjoy doing that. That's mostly what I do now. I haven't really been putting out videos. I'm going to try to get more consistent, but work has been crazy. Which I don't want to complain about that because, again, when work is busy, I'm making more money. Life is better. Work is there, it's good. When work isn't there, things are stressful, things suck. So I may have more free time to do stuff, but at the end of the day, it will greatly affect my personal life. So I never want to complain about work, right? Work is great. Work is what we all want. So, well, I shouldn't say all want. Not everybody wants to work that much, but I think it's a good thing. So I'm going to try to do more videos. If I have the time to do it, I enjoy doing it. I'm glad I got back in front of the camera, so we'll see how that goes. But until then, 6:30 every Thursday, Cigars Unbanded. Check it out, guys, all right? All right, thanks, everybody. Catch you on the next one.